Hey guys, welcome back. Chris here. Today we're talking about VHS 85 from 2023. Just came out of like maybe a week ago on Shudder, I think. Shudder, AMC Plus, all those places. Anyway, it's directed by Scott Derrickson and others because, got to have multiple directors when you're making an anthology movie, right? For different segments. So anyway, let's talk about VHS, guys. VHS 85 in particular. So I'm a fan of the VHS series. Loved the first movie. When I saw the first movie, blew me away because it's one of the better found footage film franchises out there. The first VHS, some of the segments like the Harpy Girl, I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's brilliant storytelling." So I've been a fan for a while. Um, I've actually this Halloween season I've been going back and revisiting the VHS films. I've watched VHS 2, 94, 99, and 85. The only one that I haven't watched yet is VHS Viral, and that's because it wasn't on Prime yet. But by the end of the day, should be there. So I'm going to check that one out too. Um, VHS 85, guys. It was a good movie. It was a decent entry into the franchise. I was kind of I was a little disappointed by it, only in the fact that where the other VHS films kind of had that overarching narrative, it was like, oh, there's a detective going into the house and he finds the VHS tapes and he starts watching them, and then you see the segments, but then you also, there's that overarching story that goes between the segments. And a lot of them had that. It wasn't just quick shot cuts of stuff. It had a purpose, and even if it wasn't like a an event per se or a person that was the overarching story, there was still one in the segments. VHS 85 felt like a fever dream to me. I mean, it still had decent segments in it. Like there's one segment where these people are on a lake. They hop in the lake and they're having a good time. They get in the water and all that. And then they get out of the water. They notice that there's a truck at their campsite. And then all of a sudden they start getting gunned down on their boat. Some snipers over on the bank. And he's shooting them and he's shooting all the people on the boat. And, we watch them all get murdered basically. And then they come back to life because they got in the water in this lake. And obviously the lake has these regenerative properties or whatever, or these like fountain of youth properties or immortality properties, things like that. So, I mean, the segments themselves are really good. Everything in between is like I'm on drugs. Like, I'm wondering, like, did I take a couple hits of acid or did I eat some mushrooms before I watched this? Because, I mean, there was just some wild in between segments and segments that I was just like, this is incoherent nonsense. And I couldn't wrap my head around some of it. And again, the segments, it had some good segments like the one I just mentioned. I don't want to talk about, any more of them because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody or spoil anything. But like the segments in this were good. They weren't as good as segments in previous installments, but they were still good. It's just that overarching story throughout the whole movie that felt like it was completely lacking in this entry. And I mean, maybe that was the intent. We're supposed to be watching things through an '80s lens with this, and the picture quality and everything looks like I'm watching somebody with a camcorder back in the '80s. That's just the filter they used while filming, and it lends itself to the film. Don't get me wrong; everything looks vintage and grainy and great. It's just the storytelling is severely lacking. The writing is good, even. The writing for the segments is on it's top shelf, top notch stuff. But it's just that dadgum story is just completely lacking. And like I said, it feels like a fever dream or some kind of surreal nightmare that I'm watching. And maybe that's what they were going for, but to me, it just didn't land. You know what I mean? Like it didn't resonate with me, and it just made me feel, I don't want to say confused, but I wasn't quite sure what I was supposed to be getting out of the story overall. Like I knew the stories of each individual segment, but I didn't know the whole story of the film. And that was really one of my main complaints. The special effects are great. Practical effects, there's no CGI that I could tell. If there was, it was so seamless that I couldn't tell. So, I mean, we got great practical effects. We have, varying degrees of acting. There's some that are great, some that are kind of poor. But overall, like I said, the segments are good. Special effects in the segments are excellent. Um, and if you're a fan of anthology films like Creepshow or Body Bags or anything like that, this would be a great movie to watch. This whole series would be great for you to watch if you enjoyed them. Starting with the first VHS film. And when I say VHS, I'm sure you guys know this, but let me just clarify. It's not the vehicular hibachi systems, okay? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the movies, not the cassette tapes you put in a VCR. And for all you younger viewers, a VCR is a video cassette recorder. But anyway, it was a solid entry, just not the best. So I would give this 3 stars out of 5. It's worth your time if you want to check it out. It's streaming over on Prime, on Shudder, on AMC Plus, those places if you want to check it out. If you want to get connected with more Cinema Dolce 56 content, by all means, like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Follow me on TikTok, same name, Cinema Dolce. And, you guys, I love y'all. And I'm going to keep watching them. As long as I keep making them, I'll keep watching them. Y'all keep watching them too, as long as I keep making them. Anyway, guys, no, seriously. I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. If you want to get connected on Facebook, go over to the Facebook group, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Guys, and I love y'all, and you have a great day, and I hope you enjoy the movie if you check it out.